Okay. Well, now we're
Check. Hey.
the show's even live. Oh,
Shit.
main mics. Let's turn those down a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
No, you're fine.
Check. Oh,
no,
yeah,
you're fine.
I was turning down the wrong one over here, anyways. There we go.
This is
Check.
a horrible
Hey.
loop. It's like,
Check. Hey. Hey. Check. Okay. All right.
This is what they're seeing. It's what they hear. It's what's going on out there in the world.
Can they hear us at all?
They can hear us now, too. You're on the air. I'm putting you on the spot very quickly.
Trying to see how loud I am. I think I might need to turn up my headphones. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you great.
All right.
I turned this dance off, but it doesn't seem to want to stop. Why isn't it stopping? Why won't it stop? Make it stop. Oops. Not that.
You got possessed all of a sudden?
Yeah, I'm confused, man. Stop it. I'm gonna get rid of it entirely. See if that helps. It doesn't help. Oh no.
Uh-oh. Are we in a crazy time warp thing?
Oh, we're listening to the past. That's part of the problem. We're listening to the past, but I'm trying to gauge the present on that.
It's a freaking crazy time loop going on here.
Yeah, I think we're all right now.
Okay.
I think we're okay now. Everything should be fine here. Whew. It's like, okay, so yeah. Of course, we weren't listening to that in real time, and so it shouldn't be happening in real time anymore. Oof.
All right.
We're getting ready. We're a little late today, but we're here now. We're here now. We're starting the show. We're starting a show today. We're going to talk about some things like we'll talk about some things, and we'll play some music, and that's what we do. We're going to do those things.
Yes.
So, you know what? I should be sharing this show with everyone in the world, too. So, while the theme song plays... Well, the theme song's very quick, though. Well, let's play the... let's play it. Let's play the theme song.
All right.
Sky, nothing can hold me when you feel so right. It can't be wrong.
It's a little jumpy. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to start it again. Because for some reason it's being jumpy.
Black, gray sky, hello, blue. There's nothing can hold me when I hold you. It feels so right, it can't be wrong. Rocking and rolling all week long. These days are ours. Being free. These days are ours.
All right. Now we're more back.
All right.
We are more back than we were moments ago. Damn it.
Now what?
I was totally prepared.
Jesus.
Now I'm not prepared. I'm less prepared than I was. Okay. So, what I want to do here is introduce the show. Hi, this is the MAWPCAST 1 radio program, and we're your hosts. I am Potter, and this is Soundman Chris, and we'll have the image up here in a minute. I was trying to do something, but then I did something wrong. There we go. I'm sharing this
All right.
currently, which you may then find, I guess, to share it
Yes. And
also.
I'll share.
Story? Is that what it... I don't want it to be story. Do I? I don't.
I'm not sure.
Stupid. This is not making good radio. You need to talk to people.
All right. Well, I've been doing a bunch of stuff lately. I went over to my buddy Cody's house yesterday because I've had this bass forever. It's a Fender JP90. They made them in the for a few years in the 90s, early 90s, I believe it was. And it had a twisted neck. It was just like the cut of the wood was a bad cut. So I mean, it's obvious. You can look at the neck, the back of the neck, and see that it was doomed from get-go.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, so I got this neck, and it was it happened to have been a one from USA Custom that was a Mike Lull neck, and Mike Lull had just recently passed away, evidently. Yeah, and he was a big staple in this area and stuff when it comes to the bass scene and the guitar scene, the musical instrument scene in general and stuff. And yeah, so that's kind of a bummer and stuff. And but I went over to my buddy Cody's house, which he also builds his own guitar, Cody Green. And he's badass. He's awesome. And this bass is just freaking phenomenal now. So maybe we'll have to record our own theme. Us. Do a actual recording of a theme for this show or something like that. And maybe just record the theme that we already have, but do it live.
We can do anything. There's a variety of options there that we can. Definitely.
So yeah, that was kind of cool. So I had to go driving around all over the place last night. It was kind of cool, and I also experienced my first bath bomb.
A bath bomb?
Yeah. It's a ball that you put in the bathtub. And it like fizzes. It like turns it into a soda pop.
I'm familiar. This is what drove all those people down in the Florida crazy. The flakka.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you eat that stuff, and it turns into a zombie, and you eat faces and stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't eat it, so that was a good thing. But it did kind of burn my eyes. So, I mean, that kind of maybe I was getting pushed to that point, but not quite to that point.
Yeah, it's close. If you snort it,
Yeah, okay. Well, I wasn't anywhere close
or
to
eat it. I don't know exactly how you do it. If you smoke it, there's
who knows?
something going on there.
I think it's a suppository or something like that.
Maybe. Like I've heard of, there's lots of crazy stuff like that. Yeah. Wine enemas.
Yeah. But it was kind of funny because I got out of the tub and stuff, but it was like a really dark purple.
Oh.
Yeah, it was crazy. And so I get out of the tub, and I'm all sitting in the room and stuff, and Ashley comes in, and she goes, "Did you lose a ring?" Uh-oh.
There we are.
Oh, no.
What's going on here?
I don't know.
Oh, the camera. That's what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
The camera is over there. Hang on a second.
Camera's over there.
Everything's a little funky.
What's going on here? Yeah, let's move it live. It'll be awesome. All right, we got to go through a little space warp. Ooh, whoa. Steady.
How's that?
For those people that have an early morning buzz, we're sorry about that. Oh, look.
What?
Watch, you'll see the wobbliness. It's awesome.
I can't do two things like that at once.
Sure you can.
Gotta watch this.
Okay. Still good. All right, see, it's almost to the point. All right, now it's when you want to watch. Oh, there we go.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Yeah, just weird little problems that I don't know where they came from. Like just all of a sudden. So maybe something I did has caused some problems.
Well, they say Milli Vanilli, so Gotta
We'll
expect that shit to go wrong.
This isn't caught up at all. Okay, now it's caught up completely. Everything seems to be fine here.
All right, can I save it now? Or share it now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You could have shared it anytime.
All right.
Anytime.
All right, I'm getting on my fantastic media bullshit. Oh, there it is, right there. All right, so I will like it. Then we'll share.
So sorry, everybody who's just like, what are you doing? What's going on here? Well, we're just doing things. It's a lot of things that we're doing all at once. Chris was late, and so I blame him for most things that are going on right now. And we're just getting started. We're sharing the show with some people on some things here and there. And that's what's happening. I'm not on most of these different platforms, so
All
there.
Right. Okay, we are going now.
Everything's fine. It's
I'll be
all
right.
under control.
All right.
The volumes are set. The levels are set. The things are on that should be on. Their names are on. See, just things aren't quite all copacetic. Why? What happened with the dimensions of things? I don't know. Just what? I don't know.
Falling apart.
It's weird. Life is weird. Things are weird. And then that camera's not quite where I want it to be, I think.
Sound like a cat.
Yep.
Oh, shit. So how is everybody else out in the world today on this lovely Monday afternoon? Suppose that a lot of you are probably at work, maybe sitting in your car on your phone watching this awesome podcast because you guys are super cool supporters of our show. Or maybe you're not because you can't and you don't even know we're on the air. But that's all right too, because you could listen to it later. We are equal opportunities.
That's right. We come here every Monday, approximately noon, and we start a show, and we record this show, and then we put more songs in the show, and we upload it again on Fridays as a podcast in video and audio form. And it's called the MAWPCAST 1 radio program. Thanks for all of your support. And
yes.
we're it's fun. It's fantastic. It's lots of good fun, and we enjoy it tremendously. And so we're here this week to talk about some things. What's this one? I don't even know what that is.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah. It's just, I was looking into things to try and, okay, so among the various things I don't know, because I don't know a lot of stuff, and things I've been trying to do is get my phone Bluetoothed with the computer in a way that I can talk through the computer on my phone.
Oh, gotcha.
And it's very simple, but I haven't cracked it yet. And what?
So you would hear their voice,
Mm-hmm.
but you wouldn't hear your voice in return echoing back.
Not
through,
necessarily, but I don't
Yeah.
know because I haven't got
All right.
that far with it.
All right,
I
yeah,
don't know.
because that may be something you have to look into,
Yes.
because you don't want both audio and coming at you.
And there's lots of like issues just with different things. Like I've
Yeah.
managed very well to not have stuff like that going on. Like
Oh yeah, you've gone leaps and bounds with all this stuff.
the sound and everything is much better. I mean, the sound's been consistently good with your setup, but the sound with the video, I don't have to merge this audio and video together after the fact like I used to, because we used to record on video separately and audio separately, and I'd have to take the time to sync that up and just process that, and that would be its own chunk of time for a day. So that's nice to have out of the way. a lot of the transitions and the little things, like the names and stuff like that, would all be in post-production, which is now in the show. Many of the transitions, all I really have to do is put the song packages together at the anytime and cut them into the show. I've had to also, do little things like the end credits and the theme song have been a little choppy in here.
Yeah.
So I got in here earlier today and played them all through, and to try and see if that playing them through might make it a little more kosher, streamlined.
Right.
Just maybe, but I don't think it helped actually. And I'm not exactly sure why. But yeah. Here we are. It's President's Day, the day I thought it was last week, although last week I thought it was like Martin Luther King Day or something. I just knew that there was a holiday on the horizon.
Yeah.
And here it is, President's Day.
Oh.
And in honor of President's Day, I guess Bernie Sanders is coming to town.
Yep.
We have a rally in town today.
And eat a
And
bag of Cheetos.
yeah, is that what he eats?
No, that's what I'm going to do and celebrate him.
Oh. Oh, I see.
Now, flush your breast down the toilet.
Yeah.
All right, enough of that nonsense.
I appreciate the support that a lot of people show Sanders and everything, and I appreciate the message and what he would do in theory, but we live in a different world now, where he already lost. Like he lost the first time because of his own party, and both parties are shady as shit.
Sure.
They're both crooked. It's a wrestling facade. It's they all get paid by the same people, and it's all in their best interest to maintain the status quo. And so I don't buy a lot of it. I feel like politics are a hate crime, and we're all being duped. And
Well, they're the mob.
yeah.
They just went from the small town New York mob to taking over the country mob.
Speaking of the mob, like the whole XFL, the XFL that we were talking about last week, which we'll talk a little more about today, and maybe right this second. It's like it's steeped in gambling. Like gambling's rooted into this sport. Like it's cool. They want you to gamble. They give you the point spreads. They really encourage it. They tell you where you can gamble, all this stuff, because that's what they're doing. And so I've started, and I've been analyzing this and talking about it with people extensively. And the NFL's weirdly cool with it. Everyone's really weirdly cool with it, and very supportive and encouraging, to the point where it's like, oh, so it's not necessarily this vehicle to test out all these new ideas to incorporate into the NFL, or to give these other players an outlet where they could groom them and maybe get to the big leagues. It's not necessarily that, although those are also baked into it. But it's testing out gambling on a widespread level for sports in general, which the NFL will adopt. Gambling, and encourage the fuck out of gambling. And this might eventually, I don't know about baseball. Baseball is crooked as shit too. Like, oh my god, the Astros. Like, you follow any of the stuff with the Astros?
No, what's going on? Oh,
Well,
is that the when they were videotaping down the sideline or something like that?
So in 2017,
that was football. Or something like that,
yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Never
In 2017, the Astros were involved in this scandal where
were they overinflating their balls?
Nope. They were involved in this scandal where they were stealing the pitcher and catcher signs of the opposition. They're stealing signs so they would know the pitches that were coming,
Gotcha.
and then they would relay this information to the batter in real time, with signals of various kinds. And the signals at the time were kind of primitive, but they were just like, they'd bang a garbage can for like fastball, bang, one bang, or a curveball, two bangs, or just whatever. They'd have these signals mapped out, so they'd be in the dugout and they'd make a little signal to the batter, and you'd know. And apparently, like, they got caught, or it was under investigation, so they adopted different ways of doing this. Allegedly, they may have done things like attaching a buzzer to people and sending them electronic signals to swing or not swing, basically. And so in 2017, the Astros won the World Series. And it's like now this huge scandal because they've admitted to cheating.
Mm-hmm.
They've admitted it. They're like, oh yeah, we cheated. And the players, the players admitted to it, and in cooperation with the investigation, they got immunity. They weren't going to be punished.
Mm-hmm.
But management of the Astros did get punished. Like one or two dudes got fired or suspended. Blah blah blah. So, but the players didn't, and that's a big deal. And the whole Major League Baseball is in an uproar, and they're kind of like, people want their, among other things, more punishment to the players, which of course the players are immune, but they're like, they should take away their title, and they also apparently cheated in the next year or two also, and made it all the way to the World Series again, which they lost to the Washington Nationals last year. But I don't know, it's how is this tying into what we were talking about before? Just the scandal that's steeped in it. The baseball itself isn't doing anything, and they very rarely do enough. Like all across the board, they've had. Oh, is someone chatting?
I don't know. Is somebody?
Someone is chatting.
Oh shit! We have chatters.
Chris Sheely.
Oh, Chris Sheely. Yeah, he's a photographer. He's a really cool dude. He took all those pictures of Ashley. He's freaking badass. We're actually going to be doing some more here.
They will go the way of professional wrestling. It will be sports entertainment. I can't make out the last word, but he's right. If he's talking about the XFL, it probably will. And this was something that I was noticing. Like I was talking about this also in terms of they keep interviewing the players all the time after plays and stuff like that. So it's an interesting concept that they're doing that. But what's going to happen is right now they are all tired and out of breath and awkward, and they're not good at it. They're not good at the interviews, and a lot of them don't like it. But they're going to start to say, oh, this is my opportunity to shine. This is my, just like they do their end zone dances and stuff like that. They're going to start using that exactly the way that wrestlers do as promos. It's promo time. And they're going to start capitalizing on it, and some people will eat that up. Mm-hmm. But that's not really the way that I think that it should go. That's right. We have a chat. We can communicate with the chat, and that helps.
That's awesome.
Yep, this helps the show better. Because that's true. That is a point I wanted to make also about that. Of course, we're all over the map with our topics and things that we're doing. We have a loose format. You know, we come in and we introduce a show and talk about some stuff.
Huh.
Yeah. It's you're recording, right?
Oh. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I remember asking you to record before we ever went on the air, but that's cool.
Yeah. Caught me off guard there for a second.
Yep.
It's like, what? So right on. It's actually sunny outside. Freaking, I drove the whole way here. I was like, God, why didn't I bring sunglasses?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
It's a beautiful day, and it's a nice change of pace.
Man, it's so nice.
Just been
It's
horrible.
actually warm and not raining, and it's awesome.
I shouldn't say it's been
Beautiful.
horrible because I've enjoyed it fine. It's been nice. We've not had a blizzard like the famous blizzard of 2019.
No. Yeah, it could be much, much, much worse. I mean, I totally agree with that.
Yep.
Yeah, and I really don't mind the rain so much. I mean, it's nice to have it break up here and there, to break away the tediousness of it and stuff. But I mean, other than that, I don't mind it.
It slows me down.
Huh?
It slows me down. The rain. I'm not as immediately. I just because I walk a lot of places, and so I'm not going to walk as fast or as many places when it's pouring down rain. I'm pretty equipped for it nowadays, but yeah. We've got a lot of exciting songs on the show today and this week. Did I delete them, or what did I do? Maybe I did delete them all.
Oh, is that your show notes?
It was sort of, but I kind of deleted them. Well,
that's not very helpful.
Well, it's a long story, Chris. Because I haven't, I was talking about some of the things I do and don't have worked out, and my phone is one of those things. Another one of them is that I've got this computer, but I can't use the hard drives. Like I can read them, but I can't write onto them yet. I don't have some permissions assigned to be able to write onto these hard drives. So
wow. That's weird.
So I can take a file from it and copy it and mess with that, and that's what I did. But then by messing with it, my original is still on here, and it's over there, and has the info that I would have been reading right now during this portion of the show. And it just would have been saying some songs that you could look forward to if you're just a podcast listener. Because we have a bunch of podcast listeners, and we appreciate you all. Astro's cheating scandal, that was on my show notes. It's covered. Check that one off the list. I guess, I deleted all the stuff that I actually wanted to talk about. But songs we are playing on today's episode, it would be an Electrolux song, 5-Star Day. That's what we're going to hear. In fact, why don't we hear it right now? Just get this show moving. Just keep it moving. Just go, go, go. It's President's Day. We've got no time to fuck around. All right, ready?
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Turn off your TV and your radio. I want to tell you something you don't know. Everybody's looking for the easy way, but I tell you it's the only way I know. It's too late to say tomorrow. It's too late to
Yep.
We should actually eventually put that like right here
Yeah.
somewhere.
We could do that
Yeah.
anytime you want. Could do that even right now. Oh, we're back from that song by Electrolux, 5-Star Day,
Yeah.
off the 5-Star Day EP single cassette and everything from 1992. I think that was 92 or 3.
Oh.
It's a while ago, long time ago in the olden days of Tacoma. Not that long ago, but 23 or so years ago, or
Oh.
17 years ago. 20, 30, 27? I don't know. I can't count today. I should never be allowed to
Long
count in the
time.
first place. No one told me there'd be math.
Yeah, I have a hard time with that too. I just round it off a lot. It's easier that way.
Excuse me. You go ahead and entertain me.
All right. So this is our podcast that we're doing. That. Oh yeah, okay. We're moving this stuff so we could see stuff. We're still fine tuning stuff. There's little bit by little bit that we're trying to figure out, and yeah, it's kind of cool. It's going to be a huge production. Eventually, we're going to do some like green screen stuff that would be kind of cool. So then we could be like in cool places like underwater and stuff like that. You know, without having to actually breathe underwater. So it'll make it a whole lot easier. You know? And then you don't have to worry about being electrocuted too, because that was one of our concerns when we were trying to plan an underwater shoot. So yeah. And then the tubes in my ears, you know, there's a long list of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Enough of my nonsense.
Sometimes I feel like I have to have the headphones on, or I'm not really involved. Not really here. Not being professional. If I don't have the headphones on. If I can't hear myself talking, am I even really talking?
Is that like if you're in the woods and a tree, or if a tree falls in the woods and nobody's there, does it really make a sound?
We could put a mic in the woods and find out.
All right, we'll have to try that.
It'd be one of our experiments. Yeah. You get on it because you live in the woods, so
No, I don't.
well, pretty much. You live on the edge of the woods.
I live on the edge of some woods.
Yeah. They're just over yonder, just across the way. There's a little meadow and a
Yep.
stream, and you
And
know,
there's woods up the hillside.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of houses on top of that. It's pretty cool.
yep.
Huh.
So,
All right.
well, we already burned through all my topics all at once in one shot in one big. That's not exactly true. I'm just making a joke here.
All right. Well, I did start a new series on TV. I've been watching. It's on Netflix. It's Lost in Space.
You mentioned this.
Yeah. Well, I'm on the second season now, and it's actually pretty cool. I'm digging it. And then I saw previews for Stranger Things season 4.
Oh, I heard about season 4 too. Yeah,
Ooh. And the dude is alive.
I heard this too.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and I knew it, and that was my prediction as well. Because if you watch Stranger Things, in the very last episode, dude, I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. Maybe somebody could
I don't
remind
know.
me or whatever.
These are all spoilers, though. Is that what
well,
you should be-
well, I mean,
Spoilers.
It's been out for a long time.
Yeah, well, I've never seen any. Actually, it's not exactly true.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've seen 10 minutes of episode 1 of the first series, and I was like, "Oh my god, make it stop!" And
Oh, you didn't like
turned
it?
off. And I was just like, this is why I don't watch TV because, and there's probably nothing wrong with it, but I've just got so many other things to do.
Well, you've always been that way.
I watch stuff. I'll watch
Yeah.
stuff. I'll sit and I'll watch stuff.
Yeah,
I'll sit.
but you're in the more of the reality show, what's that? So you watch with all the people on the
Survivor.
Survivor and stuff like that. Yeah, you're more into that, the intellectual stuff, and that's what I've noticed.
I
don't see you watching a lot of sitcoms and stuff like that.
but I like them. Some
Really?
and again, so there's been just long stretches where I've not had a TV or been immersed in TV culture, and then I will find myself with time and the ability or nothing else to do but, and so I'll be like stuck somewhere or in a situation where there's a TV on, like what 10 years ago when we used to be at your old place with the kids, the TV be on, I'd watch shows, and from that I would get an appreciation for things. But if we go back to the 90s where I was sort of not that into TV, just because of the life I was leading and stuff that was going on, I missed a lot of TV. Didn't have one for a long time. But I remember in the mid to late 90s, like sitting down and watching Seinfeld, and it was way into the season. Probably it wasn't until the very last season that I really got into Seinfeld, but I was like, it's amazing. It was amazingly done. It was a well-written show. And I have a deep appreciation for things that are really, really well done. And I can even appreciate stuff that I don't like Friends, for instance, which is also a show that was pretty well done. Like, there was a lot of, like, it was just on the ball. Like, the writing and the cleverness and just they were making a good product with that show. Even if it was just a bunch of white kids being white people and going to the Gap.
What do you think about The Office?
The Office was fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, and these
we
are
watch
shows
that all the time, The Office.
I've since binged them, like pretty much both The Office and Seinfeld, and you know, caught a lot of them in reruns and syndication. And this goes all the way back to being a kid. Like, being a kid, I liked a lot of sitcoms. Like, I mean, you know, and just kind of grew out of them because it was an exhausted format. Like, it just didn't go a lot of places. Even stuff like Married with Children was still rehashing stuff. They were just putting dirty jokes in there.
Yeah.
So I
that's kind of like why I like American Dad.
Yeah.
Because they could go outside of the realm of everything else and stuff and make it just freaking just bizarre.
Most of these I got exhausted with too. Like, well, The Simpsons, for instance, which is like that. Just it got.
Simpsons kept predicting the future with kind of creeping me out.
They were they just got they weren't as good anymore. Like, they stopped making this quality of stuff, and it really showed in the art got a lot better over time, but that wasn't really why I was watching the show. It was
the
even,
writing.
Yeah,
the writing decreased, the artwork increased.
Well,
you know.
One of the things about that is, and this in some of the stuff I've studied about it goes, is that so the more popular a show gets, the more that other places are trying to pick off those writers. For instance, like if it's the top show and the same with Seinfeld. That was where it was pointed out to me in some behind the scenes Seinfeld stuff. They were talking about how the more successful we got, I think it was Larry David talking about it, the more the writers would get plucked away to other things and become the star writer of some other program. And so they'd have to bring in new people. And these new people would be at the bottom, you know, and the top people would be gone. So the middle tier would take over. But then it started becoming too quick. That turnover started becoming too quick until eventually you got a whole new writer's room like 5 years in, and none of them have a familiarity or intimacy with the characters and the storytelling that the original writers did.
So it became very stagnant, sterile,
and that is the case with
too predictable.
Yeah, like with The Simpsons, those are people that is like, that's a great gig. They want that gig, and you get in there and you're like, it is a springboard to other career stuff. So yeah, I can see and understand. And if you were in that situation and you got those opportunities, you'd be taking them too. It's like, fuck, I get to be a writer on The Simpsons. It's a legendary show, and who cares if it sucks now? Maybe I can make it better. That's what they'll think. See, when I go to bong hit, you're supposed to talk. You're supposed to just pick up the ball and run with it.
And I just started coughing for some reason, and it just kind of threw me. See, I'm bad at this. I'm a bad co-host.
No, you're an excellent co-host. Don't be so hard on yourself.
All right. I just wasn't prepared. I just woke up too late and stuff, and I did. I have to use some Rick Simpson oil to help me sleep at night and stuff. And man, the stuff I got is just like really good. And
yeah,
I slept really good.
Boogie woogie on your brain.
Yeah, but I mean, my body feels good, so that's all that matters. I mean, I had a good sleep, nice, relaxed and stuff, and yeah, got my tea, and I'm good to go. It's pretty cool.
Sweet.
Yeah. And I think either today or tomorrow I'm gonna go and check out getting some eyeglasses.
You said that last week.
Yeah. Well, I know. I totally blew it, and I didn't have enough time, and kept doing other stuff. Got distracted by stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then I did go to a place, but they didn't take my medical, so I have to.
I see.
But they were cool, and they gave me 3 phone numbers at 3 different places to try out. So that's kind of cool. So that's kind of neat.
Yeah, good deal.
Being on Medicaid kind of a drag sometimes when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah.
Very few options. But yeah, so next time I might be getting some glasses. I kind of want to get glasses like my reading glasses because of the fact that it doesn't have those little nose adjustment thingies. Because those always get caught in my hair, and it's just a freaking nightmare.
That's a drag, for sure.
I hate that.
Yeah, I had glasses for a lot of my youth and eventually lost them and didn't ever go back to get any. But that was one of the worst things about them was those little nose things. Both, not only for putting them back under your head and getting caught in the hair, but just the nose. It's not necessarily the most comfortable nose rest. You really have to get a really nice pair. You
have to have them adjusted perfectly, or else they're freaking just a nightmare. And that's why I like just typical reading glasses. I could put those on for a long time and it's fine. As long as I'm not looking past 7 feet. So yeah.
Yeah, I need them most for just reading.
Yeah,
just really
that's
stuff.
all I need it for. It's just reading, menus, shit like that. I mean, I could drive fine and all that fine, but it's just freaking close-up stuff just drives me nuts. It's a pain in the ass. Especially when we got all this technology. Everything's written tiny and small and stuff. And just, I'm old. I need better vision. My buddy, he got that laser surgery and stuff. He showed up Saturday because Saturday was kind of weird because Saturday's show was open mic, which normally is on
Thursdays.
Thursday, yeah.
First Thursday.
Well, I think it's the second Thursday.
Second Thursday.
Thursday, and that's kind of in a shuffle right now. We're trying to figure out that, but yeah. So we had something that we had totally forgot about planned for Thursday, so we had to shuffle around, and we were gonna try to change it with Ashley's trivia night, but that's always bad because Ashley only has so many Thursdays off and stuff. So we didn't have a show on Saturday, so I just said, well, why don't we just do it on Saturday?
Yeah.
And I thought, what the heck? And it actually was really good.
Sweet.
There was more than enough players, actually, where we could have actually gone longer. But the way we have it laid out, that there was perfect amount of time and stuff. And yeah, it was really cool.
Well, the thing you'd have to take into consideration with that is, one, you've already got an established crowd for this, and this crowd doesn't get Saturday gigs that often.
Exactly.
They get weeknights.
We also had like half the crowd easily were new players.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which we just opened it up to that. So yeah, so I thought it was pretty cool.
Sweet.
We actually have a couple more weekdays open this month or next month or something like that I noticed that I'm going to talk to Pete about. Maybe we could just throw another jam in. If we don't have anything going on, just throw a jam on and see what happens, because it seems like people want to just play.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, so I'm thinking about talking to you about that, see how it works. Could be cool.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of places do open mics nowadays. But
a lot of them do them on the Thursday.
Yeah.
And so we want to change that, so we might do it like on a Tuesday.
Well, again, like I said too, that crowd that both plays and would go and see them don't get a lot of Saturdays. They don't.
They don't.
And if they do, those would be out of the way venues, like little not, but there's smaller
Mm.
bars and stuff like that
Mhm.
that are trying to promote. So, yeah, it's there's a lot of potential there if you did that one Thursday night. I mean, also, yeah, there's a potential for other shows too. You could have any number of things. What's going on over there?
My mic stand. I tried to adjust it and I did it the wrong way because I'm looking at it
I see.
differently than I normally would.
It's not the best mic stand. It was just the one that got chose for you.
That's all right.
And it's the easiest one to use.
Yep.
I want to get one that's dedicated to be right there forever, but
Got one that just clips to the handrail.
not necessarily because
I'm
I.
gonna drill a hole straight through and just stick the pole right down.
No.
No, I know.
To bring in a different chair for that.
Yeah.
Not these though, but it's not a bad idea. So, what else we got going on?
Let me see what else I got going on. It's actually a pretty slow time for me at the time being. I mean, I got my bass put back together. I'm gonna start doing a little bit more playing to exercise my fingers and stuff, exercise my hands.
I finally.
That's,
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
yeah, that's something I've been needing to
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
I got timestamps on our last video that I posted on YouTube, and the timestamps will. I've always wanted to put them on there, but I didn't quite know, and then I figured it out. But it took me a while to just get around to trying it, and then so it's very easy. You just put the time of the place you want to jump to in the video in the description, and it automatically encodes it into the thing. So when you go back and look at the video notes, you can click on whatever song you want to. So I'm going to try to keep doing that for future videos, and eventually maybe try and get back on some of the older ones, but I don't know if I'll ever do that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, those little things, those time codes, they're great if you just want to hear a song. Like I wish the pod. I don't think I can do that on the podcast, but if I could do that on the podcast, that'd be just excellent too, because then you could just skip right to the song you want to hear.
Yeah.
That'd always be great. It's very
But
convenient.
that'd be hard to do it on the podcast because you're chopping it up, right? And if you can't use the timestamps that's on the actual thing.
No,
Well, to an extent, to
it'd be
the
close.
first chop, you can.
it'd be close.
Up to the first chop, you can, and then
Yeah.
it's just added after that. So you'd actually have to do math
Yeah,
after that.
and I would mess that up.
Yeah, that's when we need to hire somebody to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well-
take over that aspect, which I've been working on, but it's just the timing thing. I think
Yeah.
it's his job and shit. So.
Oh yeah, it's no sweat. I understand. Yeah, but we could always use assistance with any number of things. If anyone out there wants to come and just help out, we could use help here and there with different stuff. Lots of stuff. What stuff? You'd have to figure out what you want to do and go from there.
Yes.
You know, or what you can do, or what we need. It would be a whole lot of things. So it's all up to you. I watched Survivor.
How did that show up?
It was fantastic. So
Because
it's
that's got everybody, right?
yeah.
All
It's
those
well,
people?
there's some great players who aren't on the show, but I think that honestly, more or less, it's probably they probably got as good of a cast as they're going to get. There's a couple people that could have been on, like some of the recent winners that aren't on. I mean, just from throughout the show, but they had a lot to choose from. And generally, the show has between 16 and 20 players, so they capped it at 20. And there's a lot of great people and a lot of great dynamics going on. And the level of play, because generally on any given season, there's a lot of people who aren't very good.
Yeah.
They're just not very good. They think they're going to be great, but then they get out there and they're like, oh, I'm not used to the elements, or I'm starving to death and this sucks, or I'm getting rained on and it's cold,
Yeah.
and all this shit. And they're just not equipped to deal with it like they think they can. Some people roll with it very well. These are all people who've played, a lot of them multiple times, but they've all won. They've all been out there for 39 days and they've gone all the way to the end, so they know what that shit's like. And they're also, to larger or greater, to varying degrees, they're all very savvy and can read people or navigate social situations. And so, like, inevitably someone has to get voted off like every show, and this was a double episode, so 2 people were getting voted off this night. And like one of the women who's a very renowned winner, she just dominated her season. Kim Spradlin is her name. She found herself like on the bottom, and like she never has been like in that position. She's never been in a position where she's the one on the outs and people are not talking to her and plotting against her, and so that kind of thing is just amazing. And then there's some people on there that are just like extreme like targets, like let's say if we're all playing like with friends, like we're on a game show like this, I know that most of my friends are going to target me. They're going to say, fuck that guy. We fucking know him. So there's a lot of Potters on this thing where they're just going to be like, no, fuck Potter. No, because he'll get us. If you give him a chance, he's going to get us. Can't play poker with him. Because he'll just get you. And so there's a couple of them, for instance, they ended up on the same tribe. This Boston Rob and this chick Parvati. It's hard to pronounce her name, but it's not poverty. Anyway, they're very astute. They can read you. You can't even talk to these people. And there's a scene in the show where this dude who was a Marine and he's a tough guy, he ends up talking to Boston Rob and he just tells him everything. Like, without even... all Rob says is, hey, man, have you heard anything? It's like, I've heard your name, man. It's like, he just melts down. He's like... And then, they flash to this confessional with him talking, and he's like, oh, that guy's just so good. He didn't do anything. He just talked to him. But you can't even talk to him because you just feel so, like, I guess, intimidated by him or whatever. I don't know. So some people that they'll just spill their guts to you. Mm-hmm. They'll just tell you stuff like, and he's one of those people, and it's not like he's like lean in India. He's not really bullying you. And in fact, even if he recognizes that's happening, he'll kind of even try and step back, but you don't read it that way. This guy's reading it like, oh no, he's got me. Anyway, this dude, Rob and Parvati ended up later on talking to each other and like, we should really work together. And because we're big targets, but then they go on and no one's targeting them throughout the show. And they both find very weird. It is very weird because I guess to an extent, people think that they're going to be targeted, these people. Mm-hmm. So they're good to keep in front of them. So target weak people. And that's inevitably kind of what happened. Like, well, not entirely.
Somebody calling or something?
No. So Boston Rob and his wife are playing, but they're on different tribes. Mm-hmm. So on the tribe that he's on, one of the stronger women did get voted off. She's a young, strong woman of Indian descent. India, the continent, not the Native American.
Gotcha.
And she's phenomenal. She got voted off first, but then the next one was this dude's wife, Amber. And she's not necessarily the strongest. And she shouldn't have been a target because there's fucking people on there who just are very savvy. This woman hasn't played in 16 years. She's a mom of 4 daughters. She's not really in the game as intensely as a lot of the other people are.
Yeah.
And so they're picking off some of the people that they can all casually agree on. And meanwhile keeping the more dominant players in to let them think that they're in control, but really they're just shields that they can be voted off later on. And so that's good strategy for you forever on Survivor. Don't vote me off right away.
Oh no, you'll be my ally all the way to the end. Trust me.
Yeah, that's exactly what you say.
I know what's going on.
Yep. And then right at the end, cut them.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, my hands are tied. Should have won immunity, bro. Well, let's go to a song.
All right. Yeah, let's do a song. That's weird. Is it that?
It's just that. Just sitting there making noise.
Weird.
So what we're going to hear now is a song by The Investigators.
The Investigators. All right.
Yep.
Rock it.
I warned you not to play any music. You have created a chain vibration reaction.
Makes a great pee break.
I know, right? That's perfect timing.
Welcome back, everybody, to the MAWPCAST 1 radio program. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. It's fantastic.
Indeed.
Yep. So, we're back. We just heard songs. Well, see, if you're watching us live, you heard a song. Saw a picture of whatever. But if you are listening to the podcast, well, you heard several songs, obviously,
Yes.
because you just heard them. You're just you know how the podcast goes.
Yep.
It's just that we do the show live now every Mondays, 12 to 2. Theoretically, today we were a little late, but in theory, we do our show live 12 to 2 every day.
Yep.
And you can come and hang out with us and chat and give us suggestions or join the conversation or call in live if you feel so inclined, and we can try and see if that works.
Yeah.
All that stuff is stuff that you can do. And otherwise you can just keep listening to the podcast like you normally do. Because why not? Why?
Why not?
You don't need to change your habits. You can just
No, God, no.
yeah. But
No.
if you
We don't
feel
want to
like
be a
it,
hassle.
yeah. Maybe you're playing hooky, you're skipping school, you're not going to work. I remember. So, Price is Right. I used to always like if I had a day off, Price is Right. Weekdays off, Price is Right. Like skipping school, Price is Right. It's just been a staple. Like it's been a while since I really watched it. But
when you stayed with me, that's what we watched.
Price is Right. It's like there's really not a lot of competition for it at the 10 o'clock hour either.
No, God, no.
There's not much on that you can like say this is better.
Yeah.
Maybe Star Wars is on, but you can
Yeah.
like watch Star Wars almost any time. Probably own it. Price is Right. It's always going to be good, and maybe they'll play Plinko. Woo! Love Plinko. It's just like it's the actual game of Plinko is nothing but chance. There's
Oh, I
like-
know, absolutely
yeah.
nothing but chance.
It's one of the
and
most
that-
pure
there is-
chance games that I've
Yes.
ever seen, and
There's
it's so
no,
great. Yeah.
There's no way to really.
Everyone's got their strategy. You put it right on the circle, and then you let it.
Yeah.
There's just all these different little things. And nope, doesn't matter. That's not the strategy because
Yeah.
there is none.
Yeah.
Like everything that is random should be decided by Plinko.
That's a good idea.
Yep.
Surely it'd be less chance of it being fixed than the way everything else is.
Yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah. If there's strategy in Plinko, then it should be a sport. It should be a competition.
Oh,
there
well,
should
yeah,
be
absolutely.
like yep. Let's see them fucking crack that. I like that Drew Carey became the host too. I was a big fan of Bob Barker. I always wanted to get on to that game show with Drew Carey and make all my bids $1 Bob. And I also wanted to name a band $1 Bob because that was a very common thing to hear in the old days. People would make their bid and $1 Bob, and it's just great. It's just burned in my brain.
Well, maybe we should get a house band for our show and call it $1 Bob.
Yep. we could just get Bob over there on the drums. And we
There
could
we
just
go.
do a drum roll.
But I don't know if you do it for $1.
A beer.
Yeah. Oh, one beer Bob.
One beer, Bob.
Hear that, Bob? Bob Lurvy, we're talking to you.
I don't think Bob's listening. He might listen.
He might. If
Who
not,
knows?
we'll tag him on this or something somehow. So connect him to it.
I don't have my headphones on. I'm not feeling very professional. That's all right. We're just going for it.
All
'Cause I
right.
don't really know what else we're going to talk about today. I do have things, I think, that I wrote down. But I don't remember what they were. Oh, yeah. Remember?
Oh yeah, you erased them.
Yeah, I erased those.
Yep.
Oh, no. That was the right one. I didn't erase those. I erased the songs.
Oh.
Indiana Jones. They're still making another Indiana Jones movie.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I still think all the Indiana Jones is Han Solo frozen in carbonite dreaming.
Yeah. It's very possible. Grandpa Indy is going to come back. I don't think Shia LaBeouf is going to be in the next one. That the plan is that he's not. That they're going to just skirt around the sun thing.
Yeah.
No mutt. But there's a lot of like buzz around Shia LaBeouf these days because he's been in some good things that have redeemed him somewhat. Because see, after Indiana Jones, he talked shit about Indiana Jones. Like he went out and talked shit about it, and you really don't do that if you want to continue to work for a company or
not
be
at
in a
all.
franchise. And he probably didn't care, which is fine. I can understand that too.
Mm-hmm.
But he has, to a large extent, redeemed himself both with roles that he's taken and I guess things that he's come out, talked about. Just kind of, like a lot of people, not had the easiest life probably, and which it's also easy to misconstrue people. So I don't know. I don't know a lot about him. I just know this kind of peripheral stuff that people talk about, how they used to hate him, but now they hate him less because he's less of a douche. And yeah, I can understand. Well, here's the thing. We often will like assess people based on like a minute of their life, that 1 minute where they fucking had a meltdown and said something shitty. It's like, oh yeah, fuck that guy. There's a great incident that on Survivor. I talked about that Indian chick that a few minutes ago. She's from India, or of Indian descent.
Yep.
She was on a season with her twin sister, and it was a blood versus water season where a lot of people were with relatives, and they were separated on different tribes, but they were with a sister, a brother, a husband. One person was just with his girlfriend, but stuff like that. They were that kind of thing. And a baseball pitcher by the name of John Rocker was on this season also. And John Rocker, I forget who he played for, maybe the Atlanta Braves. He said some things that were during his career. He said some things publicly that were very controversial, maybe racist in nature. He had got a lot of shit for it, and rightfully so to an extent, but we live in a world where that shit's unwarranted and coming from people who are also threatening your life and doing fucked up shit. So it's, to a large extent, it's way over the top. But he had to live through his mistake, and then he ended up going on Survivor after the fact. So part of his going on Survivor is in an attempt to rectify this, this is who I really am. I'm not actually a douche, although he could at times even maybe come across as a douche on there. But he gets a more, a different look at him. And nonetheless, people weren't completely letting it go even then. And the thing is, people make mistakes. They say shit sometimes. They do some things sometimes in their life they're very fucked up, but there's a lot of cases where people will let that go or turn the other cheek. And then there's other times where they're just selective about that and they won't. And that's weird. And so they really should be a little more considerate. We should all be a little more considerate about how we're viewing other people and what they're going through at any given time, because we really don't know what they're going through.
Oh, yeah. Totally agree with that. You never know what they're going through.
Yeah.
That's why you just can't be a judgmental person, or it's not good to be a judgmental person, I should say, because you just never know. You don't know. You never know if your rude comment or your indiscretion is gonna be somebody's last straw. To do a bad thing to themselves or to somebody else. I mean, you never know. And that's why it's always good. Just don't be a dick.
It's delicate balance. It's delicate balance both ways. Because I've been in situations where I've seen people who were melting down, and I'm like trying to say, hey, maybe consider something. But then they're like, oh fuck no, no, fuck you too. Mm-hmm. You don't get it. You don't understand. You're the enemy. Like, well, okay, okay. All I'm saying is that
you never know.
Maybe one of us needs a nap.
Yeah. And nowadays, people are really touchy.
They're going to be even more touchy in the next 4 years.
I can see that coming already.
Because, I touched on before about the whole political thing, and Bernie Sanders, well, it's a slim chance that he's going to get nominated in the first place based on our experience with the previous attempt at him trying to get nominated. If he does, he's not going to win based on our previous experience with elections and how this country's ran.
Well, yeah, it's fixed.
Yeah, so
it's fixed before it even starts.
And then once that next term does take place, then you're really going to see things drastically change, and people are really going to lose their minds because they don't know how to deal with this.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it's a pendulum, and that pendulum's swinging one way really far.
Yeah.
But it's swinging so far that when it swings the other way,
Uh-huh.
It's going to have a lot of momentum.
Uh-huh.
It's going to have a shit ton of momentum.
Yeah, but you don't want to be on either end.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
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 Or in the middle, you're just going to want to take a lot of steps back and,
Yeah.
and let the pieces fall and pick up after the fact, because there's too much momentum. You're only going to get swept up
Yep.
in the undertow and dragged under. You aren't going to have the effect you think you will. You want to affect change, do it from outside of that sphere, because that one's going to implode. It is imploding, and that's what you need to recognize. That's at least my 2 cents on it.
Yeah.
The people who say that they are good at reading patterns and trends need to read the patterns and trends. They need to go back and look at history, the history of nations, the history of countries, the history of things in general, just the patterns of things, the cycles of things, the way things are going, and then place now in context.
Yeah.
Because what now represents is something that is at the end of an arc.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be the same after this, but it's not going to be pretty for some people who can't accept change.
Yeah.
You really just got to really, really be into change. Just really be okay with it.
You got to learn to adapt.
Uh-huh.
You know, that's what I was. Of course, I've been kind of seasoned to adapting because of my physical aptitudes and all that. So I forced myself to do it that way. So I'm kind of more easily adaptable with some sort of stuff, but it also makes me more aware of a lot of things and stuff. And some things overly aware, some things not enough aware, I guess. But it's definitely making me look at as much as I can and absorb as much as I can, so you can make the right decisions and adapt the right way. Because you can adapt and think that you're adapting in a way that's going to be beneficial to you, but it's actually something that's just going to put in a stick in your spokes type of scenario and stuff. And, nowadays it's too easy to put a stick in your own spokes. It's just too easy to do that nowadays. Yeah.
I recommend hobbies.
Oh yeah.
Learn to garden and cook, and
Yes.
find hobbies that are very cheap. that don't,
Self-sufficient.
yeah. Things that are social are great. That build social bonds. Those are great. Things that strengthen community.
Yep.
Because that's where, honestly, and that's where I just feel like the most focus should be, and where the most effect of change will be realized, is just immediate and localized, right here at home, right where you are, wherever you are. Do what you can do immediately where you are. That's going to have the most effect on the whole world.
Yep.
Despite what you think, you might think, no, I need to take my message to the Supreme Court. No, fucking maybe on your street. Start on your street, and take your message to your street and work on your street, because that's there's probably some shit right there that needs some attention. Honestly, that's my message for that.
Well, hey, I was going to mention something. I got. I'm going to start doing this when since we're live.
Yeah.
I can mention shows I'm having.
Yep.
So this Friday, February 21st, we have Ted Brown Music Outreach Fundraiser 2020. And it's got the, let me see. It's all ages. Proceeds go to Ted Brown Music Outreach. Tickets are $25 and include dinner. They will have performances by Your Downstairs Neighbors, which is the name of the band, not the actual people that live below you if you're in apartments.
Oh, that's
like that.
good.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
good,
I know,
because
I
those
know.
people.
I know that would throw people off. I know. Okay, and the Live It Out Loud alumni Stargazer Pie is going to play, and Alyssa Bowers, which I am not familiar with, but I'm assuming is on Facebook somewhere. I would assume, but yeah. But that show starts at 6 o'clock, goes till 8:30 p.m. So yeah, come and check it out. That'd be cool. I mean, $25, you get a show and dinner.
Yep.
I mean, that's awesome.
And it goes to charity, a good cause.
Yeah, it goes, and the Ted Brown outreach is basically, it gives the opportunity for kids to play instruments instead of play with guns.
Yeah.
And play with, beating up people or doing stuff that they really shouldn't be doing. It gives them something to do.
Exactly.
And it's cool. I mean, music is always a good thing for everybody. I mean, it's a good way to blow off steam and to focus, and to take a break from reality.
Yes.
I mean, it's just all around a good thing, I think.
And absolutely, what it'll be on the podcast, obviously, also. But you can all plug a show anytime, any show, anywhere, anytime, and that goes for anyone listening now or watching who might be checking us out live. You could also say, "Hey, we got a show coming up." Because this show is live, it doesn't have necessarily the largest audience yet, but as it grows, this will be an outlet for you to just call up and say,
absolutely.
plug a show that you got coming up this weekend.
That's what the phone number's for.
And among other things, you can ask us questions, you can give us feedback or request songs for the podcast, because we can't play everything on the show, and I don't have the ability to just leap and play. Well, I kind of could, but I could play stuff live, but I just don't want to mess with that. It does take a minute to set something up generally, so we're not really equipped to just play anything live right at the moment. But we will. We'll play songs if you want to request them.
There you go. If we have them.
Yeah. We've got a lot of stuff at our disposal, at our fingertips here.
That's true. That is true. We have the ability. The world has given us that technology.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite the $5 million man technology, but I mean, we got some technology.
I think that was $6 million man.
$6 million?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've seen that.
They're going to. I believe that's in the reboot works too.
They're remaking everything.
Well, here's the thing with remakes.
And some of them are awesome, I think.
Well,
but some of them need to be left.
The backlash for it comes every time that the wave of remakes come. Mm-hmm. That why can't we get new stuff? Why you want new stuff? Well, the new stuff doesn't necessarily do well. And also, these properties are held by people who want to make money off of those names. Those names are brands. Like Indiana Jones is a brand. Star Wars is a brand. Marvel and all of its various properties underneath it are brands. They're individual brands under a big brand umbrella. Mm-hmm. And the reason that you keep getting Spider-Man movies is because that brand, it makes fucking money. Uh-huh. And they're going to keep making them until you stop buying them. And it does keep other stuff from taking hold. It takes a while for things to break through. Not everything has the immediate success that, say, a Harry Potter did. And Harry Potter had immediate success, basically, in its book form first. But it really took hold in that medium. Mm-hmm. And it was equally as popular in the film medium because they adapted them very well.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen any of his the actor Harry Potter? Have you seen any of his new stuff?
I'm not. I'm aware of the one where he was a farting corpse or something.
Is that the one where he's it's like they're angels or something like that?
No, I'm not. I've not
it's
seen
stuff
hardly.
that's going on now, and it's just like it's bizarre. It's weird.
I've not seen it. I just was familiar with one that he did a couple years ago, as a corpse or with a corpse. I don't remember if he was
this
playing.
This is something that's now. I don't recall what that one was, but yeah.
No.
Basically, he's a prince of a royal, like back in the knights in shining armor days and stuff. And he's a prince, and he's just freaking. I mean, some of it's kind of funny. I mean, he has pet duck, and he keeps telling the duck not to eat too fast because he'll get a tummy ache.
That's cool.
So yeah, it was kind of funny. But at the same time, it's just bizarre, weird because I'd see him in Harry Potter, and then I see him doing that, and it's like, wow. I study movies
that come out. Like I know all about them, but I don't have any interest in seeing them. Even ones that I kind of am somewhat interested in, because like, I'm sure they're fine. I'm sure that all the Marvel movies that'll ever come out are going to be fine. Sorry, I'm not coughing in the mic like Chris.
Not me this time.
But it's a lot of, again, time to invest. And I don't necessarily dislike anything about the medium or the art of film. I think that it's great and can be wonderful, and can in this day and age we can tell any kind of story, and that's just fantastic. Excuse me, sorry, damn. But I think there's too much emphasis on it in our lives in general. Now, there's nothing wrong with it as a hobby or whatever, an indulgence, whatever it is. There's nothing wrong with it. But the amount of money that goes into an episode of a show or a movie or a actor's salary for what is essentially pretend. I want to pretend. I'm going to pretend. It's pretending. We put too much emphasis on pretending. We give too much value and too much attention and too much money and everything to pretending, when we should be putting money into roads and and clean water and things like that. Just very simple things, infrastructure and healthcare and just different things that are conducive to a society that is going to sustain for a long time. And
they should make a movie, have Marvel or somebody make a movie, and all that money goes to Flint, Michigan. I mean, that city's been way too long for that shit to be going on.
At a certain point,
that's just
also,
freaking
you're just
ridiculous.
going to have to accept that they're not, and you're going to have to move. You should move. If you have to walk out, and it might be difficult or impossible, but fucking just walk away. Just leave everything behind and walk away.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's almost seems like what they want them to do.
yeah.
They want them to just abandon everything because I mean their property value ain't shit now. I mean, I don't know 100%, but I'm pretty sure that the property values dropped significantly after that happened. And that's just freaking lame.
Yeah. This is a super uplifting episode of MAWPCAST.
I know, right?
There's hope.
Yes.
There's hope. It's there at the
yeah.
end of the rainbow.
Oh yeah, there's always hope at the end of the rainbow. That's for damn sure.
You'll make it through it. Most of you, some of you, you'll make it through.
Well, that's where it all comes into the realm of adapting.
Yeah.
You know, you got to learn to adapt. The situations are getting to the point where it's up to you. You know, you are the ones that are making your final decision. You need to make the right decisions and just do your best and learn from your mistakes. I mean, don't think that you can't make mistakes or won't make mistakes, because you will make mistakes, and don't let them be your life sentence. Let them be a lesson, and that is it.
And be forgiving of other people's mistakes.
Absolutely,
Because
that too.
You know what?
Yeah.
We're all dumbasses. We all make mistakes.
We are. Yeah. We're human. At the point where we don't make mistakes, that's when we are artificial intelligence and we are programmed. And the only reason we're not making mistakes is because we're not going outside the realm of what we are capable of. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Every once in a while I have logic. It's kind of weird. It's just like spurts out here and there. I think it's the tea. Tea in the morning with a little bit of honey.
Got the honey today.
No honey today?
No, I don't know. I'm asking. You did get the honey today.
Yes, I did get honey.
Last time you didn't get honey, so I remember.
Well, I tried to get a little bit of honey in there. It just had a little bit of tiny sweetness to it. Of course, I did make the mistake of, it wasn't really my mistake. It wasn't anybody's mistake, actually. It was just the way it was made. The way this place made it was the honey was like a weird honey that it had creamer in it too. So it's like my tea was just like looked like a mocha, just like creamy and stuff. And I thought it tasted funny. I didn't look at it because it had a lid on it and stuff, but I thought it tasted funny and stuff. But I didn't realize it until I opened it up later that day, and I was just like, "Holy crap! What the hell is this?" But now I know better. Creamy honey is not the way to go.
No.
Natural honey.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with this cream and honey you speak of, but it sounds pretty
I know.
suspicious.
It threw me off. And that's why I thought it was just like weird. Because I really don't care for Earl Grey tea. So I thought maybe it was a weird tea, maybe. That wasn't the normal tea. Because that is like English breakfast tea, Lipton tea, the simple staple tea. Nothing too out of control and stuff. Because they got so many different types of tea. It's just freaking ridiculous. And to me, that's not tea. That's something totally different. When you start adding fruit to it and stuff, and fruit blends and stuff like that, that to me is like when you add orange to it. Well, now that's an orange drink. You add cherry to it. That's a cherry drink. It's not tea. So, but that's just me. I'm weird like that.
I agree.
Some of the herb stuff, every once in a while there's one that I could tolerate and it's all right, but the majority of it is just got to be normal tea. Rose tea, get a little ceramic, little character and stuff. Didn't you have a huge collection of those little ceramic characters and stuff?
Uh-huh.
You still got that?
I gave them to Cody's daughter.
That was a huge collection too. That was cool.
It was a pretty decent sized one, yes. And it's just stuff. I don't ever necessarily start out with any intention of collecting anything. I just find myself within a large amount of the thing. It's like, I guess I collect this. And then eventually I have to stop. And then eventually I have to get rid of it. I have to separate myself from it. And it happens very innocently, honestly. But I also have, again, reconciled that that's a necessary component of life. Do it. Just do it. Do those things. For whatever reason. Because why not? Why not have the experience? When I got into baseball cards a few years ago, 2016 or something, getting over my illnesses, and the whole thing was that I had always wanted to fuck with baseball cards and see what was up with them, and other cards in general. Just get into the world, just to experience it, but I never did. And I was like, well, this is a great opportunity too, because I can't do a lot of things right now. So just get into that and see what that's all about. And that's what I did. And it was rad. And I was glad I did. And it wasn't necessarily something I planned on doing for my entire life. Oh,
We have a caller.
let's see if we do.
Or is it just somebody calling your house?
I don't know. MAWPCAST 1, you're on the air.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Kathy with Map Support for Google. I need to speak with the business owner.
Well, this is probably not a very good time. You're live on the internet right now.
I think they hung up.
No, they're still there.
Oh.
Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me.
I think they're ignoring you. Hello?
Well, I can hear them excellently.
Yeah, I can hear them too.
That's a good test.
Oh, yeah?
Can you hear me?
Hello?
Hi.
Yes, this is Kathy with Map Support for Google. I need to speak with the owner of the business. Is
Well,
he in?
right now is not a very good time.
Oh, okay. I understood. We'll just stay back. Thank you.
Thank you.
What business?
Yeah, that's another good question.
Yeah, that sounded like a scam to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
I just think that was an excellent test.
That was great.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
don't need a phone at all.
Yeah,
That's a great phone.
yeah. Of course, we're not sure how well she was hearing you, though.
She was responding. Like
Well,
that
yeah,
second-
after the fact, but
Yeah.
it seems like she was not responding right away, though. So, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it sounded great through here, so that's all that mattered.
Yeah, I mean, that was like really good.
Yeah,
Nice.
good check.
Yep.
Check.
Um.
All right.
Oh, but the thing is
Huh.
is that I. So it was on the video when
Yeah.
Ashley called, but it wasn't on the.
Recorder?
Oh, it wasn't on the recorder. So I'll see. I'll see if it's on the recorder. But
It was pretty loud that time, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be on
it
that
seems
channel.
pretty loud. Yeah.
Because it's on its own channel.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I could hear it great.
Mhm.
It was impressive. So we know that phone lines work. If you
Yeah.
want to call in, you call in, and we'll talk to you
Yes.
as best we can. And you can tell us how good it is.
Yeah, that's the best way. And if somebody actually was listening and heard that, call us up and let us know how well it sounded, or chat with us and let us know how well it sounded and stuff. So, that way we know. That's how we make improvements and make it better.
That's right, Chris.
Yep.
Oops.
All right.
I forgot to play your theme song today.
My theme song.
Mm-hmm.
Which one's that?
Oh, you know.
Oh,
Oops. Nope. No, not that one.
the one I play at the end of my shows?
You hearing it? You don't hear it?
Yeah.
You do?
No.
Well, that's weird. Should have been hearing it. Oh. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's okay. So, I had it all the way turned down when I was talking to the woman on the phone, but you could hear it fine. Yeah,
So she may have been like, well, that's a different source.
I guess.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's something that we need to take in consideration.
Are you
Well,
hearing-
see, that's why we just need the phone just for the phone and the tracks and stuff like that on a separate unit, because you never know if somebody calls and blah, blah, blah. We'll figure that out.
Well, what do you think? Should we go to song? Is it
I
time-
think that would be a cool idea.
Yeah.
What kind of music we got next?
How about the Dirty Thieves?
There you go.
Pretty soon your only freedom will be to do what you're told. When you ask who they're fighting, I don't think they really know. I am not the world around me, war and peace nowhere to find me. Every
Hi.
Hi,
back.
we're back. All right. So what you guys think about that song? Pretty cool, huh? All right. Whew. My throat's a little sore now. Wow.
So, we're here winding our show down.
I almost got a recording of Ginger shivering, but it didn't turn out. It was too dark. It couldn't. But it was funny. I think I might just have to find another another video of a Chihuahua shivering and just using that or something. She does have weird times, so it's kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wanted to say something before the show is over. Our buddy PD Normal put out a new album. Right here. It's called Applesauce.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't have anything to play for you at the moment because I still have to download it. So sorry about that. We'll make sure that happens. But yeah, it was pretty cool.
Fantastic.
Applesauce.
Yeah.
PD Normal. Check it out. He's all over the place. He's fantastic.
Also in Watch Rome Burn.
Yep. He's a bass player in Watch Rome Burn. It's pretty awesome.
It's great. He's been on the show before.
Yep. He does a great rendition of Help
Yep.
by Beatles. It's pretty cool. Wonder if we have that recorded probably somewhere. Maybe one of these times we'll have to replay that again. I think that'd be kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna go back to it.
You would. I've been starting to slip in songs we've played before into the show again. Just because, I mean, I still want to keep playing different songs by those artists as well.
Yes.
But there's a few that only have a couple of recorded songs, or that I only have a couple of recordings of their songs.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's just a lot that, well, just because they've got other stuff, I still want to just make it a constant weird amalgamation of things.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, we talked about a lot of stuff today. I do watch stuff, but a lot of times I'll more listen to things while I'm doing other things. Like I work on a lot of these projects for this podcast and the website, the MAWP stuff, all the local music stuff I archive, and the music that I acquire and do the things for the show, organizing the playlist and all that. That's all very time consuming. So while I'm doing a lot of that stuff, if I'm not having to listen to the music for the show or the audio for the show, then we got here.
Another call.
Let's see. I'm suspicious of this one too.
Let's see.
MAWPCAST 1 radio program, you're on the air.
Hello?
Nope.
Yep. They did not like us.
No,
That's okay. That's okay.
it is okay.
That scared them because they knew, ooh, shit, we're going to be recording.
Yeah. That is actually pretty cool that I'm recording whoever calls. That is
Yeah. You don't want to be calling us up and threatening us in any way that might be, not good because, Which, I mean, I don't see it.
I should,
you guys suck.
I should just start answering it that way. That MAWPCAST 1 radio program, your scam is being recorded.
There you go. You should. That's a,
Yeah. So, I was saying about things. So I'll be doing other things and listen to stuff. So
Yep.
I listen to a lot of podcasts or conversational type things that I don't have to focus attention with my eyes on. I can do other stuff, write, read, do whatever. And sometimes documentaries or lectures and on different things, archaeology or history or physics or just different things, because it's interesting and it's a good way to digest information while also getting stuff done. It's good multitasking stuff.
Yep.
And I have bunch of variety of subjects that I like to listen to. They can almost all be found under the umbrella of Ancient Aliens. Now, I don't necessarily believe in the Ancient Alien theory per se, but I like a lot of the content of that show. Like, because one of the things about Ancient Aliens as a program is that it just touched on a broad range of history and culture and just different stuff from all over the place.
History that really didn't have answers.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
It's a theory.
Exactly. And this is stuff I was into
a valid theory.
Yeah,
though.
as a little kid, I used to be into this shit, whether it was from In Search Of or these big books of just mysteries from the Bermuda Triangle and different stuff. It was just always there. These things didn't just emerge in the 21st century. No, they were there forever and ever. They've always been mysteries. And so, like, some of the stuff I was listening to, like, last night was... And I brush up on this stuff periodically because new information comes to light, or there's new lecture series or different stuff. So, stuff in Turkey, like ancient Turkey, is like basically the Mesopotamian basin or whatever it is, where a lot of humanity emerged from. It's where some of the oldest writing and stuff comes from. And if you go to like Turkey, there's these sites like Göbekli Tepe and Catalhuyuk. And Göbekli Tepe is now like the oldest megalithic site on Earth that we know of, that predates like Stonehenge, and it was just this big archaeological discovery from the late 90s. How's it going, Rick?
It's going good.
Is it 3:30?
I'm just here to pick stuff up.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh, it's like Jesus Christ! I thought it was 2:30. I just looked and it said 2:30. It's like fuck.
You're good.
So that Göbekli Tepe was like buried intentionally, like, and it's like 10,000 years old, and it's just this crazy city that's well, not necessarily city, just some weird thing. There's some weird
site.
yeah
Of some sort.
yeah.
Yeah.
They don't exactly know because this was supposedly at the time when we were just hunter-gatherers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then there's this other, what's more of a city, actually, was Catalhuyuk, which is just lots of houses. And there was no real structure, and these houses are all weird and built on top of each other, and you got in through the roofs, and people buried their dead under the ground, underneath their houses and shit. It's just weird.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's like...
It's like you're responsible for your own family on your own property.
Yeah,
type
not necessarily, because
No.
not all the bodies were found, and it's they get in depth with how they
okay,
what they've
gotcha,
excavated
gotcha.
and how they're arranged in sort of haphazard ways.
Okay.
And but it's almost as if like because these places were kind of contemporary, but it's like a lot of the people who lived there might have migrated to this Göbekli Tepe site for some pilgrimage religious thing or something. I don't know. There's no telling what was going on back then. It's a lot of weird shit.
Man.
But that was just some of the stuff I was listening to last night. And aside from that, that is about what we're done. We've covered everything, and we should just move on. Get on with our day, because we got to get out of here before Bernie Sanders comes and ruins everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll be taking over the area.
All right. So thanks everyone for participating and listening and watching and all of the things. And be sure to find us on all of your favorite social media sites. And
And to those telemarketers that called, have a nice day.
yeah, we'll find you.
We'll find you.
All right. I think that is it. We will. Oh, end credits. That's right, because we have end credits. Yeah, we'll play the end credits and we'll be gone. We'll be done doing things.
All right.
Oh, you know what I never showed? I never showed this.
Well, what's this?